Oh man, it was awesome. Ali called me and he said, "Hey, we got a big fight. It's gonna be Abu Dhabi." And okay, it's a cool place to fight. I've never been there. And then we're getting Nick Diaz, and then I'm like, oh man, that's an amazing fight. I mean, he's a legend. Actually, it's funny. Like I almost got to fight at some point a Nate Diaz, so it was something that I was really working on. I was really interested on that fight for a long time. But before that fight even being a possibility, I really thought that I would get to fight Nick Diaz. That's the guy that I watched before being in the UFC, fight for the title against Carlos Condit. And after that, he fought for the title against, how you call, George St. Pierre. So, it was a guy, even he fought Anderson Silva. So all these big names. So this was a guy that I always wanted to fight. And later on it felt like it's not going to happen, and now it actually is going to happen, so it's awesome.
5 rounds as well, right?
Yeah, 5 rounds, 5 rounds.
Is this like, for a kid growing up in the sport, this is like a bucket list fight then for you to know that the doors are going to close and you're going to be standing across from one of the greatest ever?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a bucket list. A guy that, like him. I've always kind of his fight style always inspired me. Walking forward, putting on the pressure, trying to break his opponent. Looking not only to finish but really to dominate, like to break. It's the mentality. Who wants it more? And that's something I always try to bring to my fights and to my style. And now I get to go in there and face one of the guys that inspired me to have this style that I have. So it's definitely going to be a bucket list and a great name to have, on my share dog or whatever, on my list of fighters that I've faced.
Were you surprised when you heard the name the last time we saw him? I think he was fighting your teammate or former teammate, however you want to look at it, Robbie Lawler, and he didn't seem like he even wanted to be in there after the fight. Are you surprised that he's coming back?
I mean, I think we always get surprised when a guy has been out for so long and gets to step back in there. So I was surprised, but I've always felt like he's a fighter. I actually watched yesterday that fight again, him and Robbie. And the first time I saw it, yeah, I did think like the ending is very weird how it ended. I still now watching, I don't know why he stopped the way he did. But if I watch all the fight is still in him. He was still going for it, throwing a lot of combinations, that style. So that was fun. And yeah, I think that, you know, it's hard as a fighter myself. We never want to stop. We always feel like we have more in us. I know that I do. I know that I want to fight until my body, shuts down, until it cannot fight anymore. So, I feel that's what he wants. He wants to keep on pushing himself until he can't do it anymore.
And it's a big card, Abu Dhabi on ABC. There's going to be a lot of eyes, a lot of people watching the fight. How do you see it going? How do you see your hand getting raised when you step in there with Nick?
Man, it's got to be a war with him, and that's what I see. He's tough. He has, he always has cardio. It's his background, with all with all he does, triathlon and all that. I know that he has cardio. I know he has a tough chin. I know he has, the will to fight. If he is gonna step in there as the old days, he's gonna go there and try to fight me until the last second of that fight, and that's what I'm ready to do. That's what I'm ready to go for, and get a win in any means necessary. If it's going to be quick or the whole night, if I have to go all rounds, we're going to have to go to war.
But you're going to knock him out. Your style, his style. Someone's going to
That's
sleep.
every single round. I'm going to try to knock him out. That's for sure. That is for sure. And we'll see if he can take what I'm going to bring. It's going to be, a long night, but that's what I'm focusing. Even like as soon as the fight was signed, and we're signed for 5 rounds, so that's also amazing. I love that. And as soon as it was signed, in my mind is like, I gotta be ready to take damage and to walk through fire and want it more than him. That's the focus for this camp.
You said, you mirror your style after him. You liked watching him fight. Is there something that stood out the most that you liked, watching Nick when you were younger?
I think like the combinations, he has an awkward style, but he's really fluid with his combinations, and that's always what I liked about it. Yesterday I was watching his fight against BJ Penn. That's one of my favorite fights, and he'll change from orthodox to southpaw. That's something I've always liked to do as well during my career. So, and I didn't remember he used to do that. So maybe it's something that I even in a way got from him, by watching his fights. And that's just a fight where he throws great combinations in both stances and really dominates BJ out of volume. The sheer volume of punches and great combinations. I always love that.
Last thing, is there any message for Nick before you guys get in there in a couple months?
Man, I'm a big fan, and in there, I'm gonna honor him like that. I'm gonna go in there and really bring the war and look to knock him out every single round of that fight. So be ready. I'll be ready, and let's have fun.